Okay, hi guys. I'm going to do a video just to talk about proportions, and then I'm going to find a good picture that you could practice these proportions on, and I'll post it into the classroom to go along with this video. But for the proportions that I'm going to talk about today, we're going to just look at the skeleton that we've used before, okay? So one of the first proportions, and I think I've talked about this, but I want to make sure that we have some of these things all in one place. Okay, so I'm just drawing with my finger here. Okay, so there's the size of the head. The shoulders, all you computer artists, you can laugh at me. Okay, so the shoulder is about a head high. Now I obviously drew that a little bit too big. I need my pencil. I don't like this. Okay, so the shoulders are going to be the widest part of the body, right here and right here. And when the person is standing like this or similar, the shoulders are going to be about a head wide on each side. So the body at its widest width will be 3 heads wide. Okay, down here is the next widest part where you don't count the arms. And it will always be slightly smaller. So this distance here is going to be slightly narrower than this one. And depending on who you're drawing, a man will be slightly smaller. A woman might be a lot smaller because a man a lot of times will just kind of be straight up and down. If you're drawing a woman who is curvy, or especially a cartoonish woman, it might come in a lot and go out a lot, more than what is realistic. So all of you cartooners, illustrators, you want to keep some of those things in mind. Okay, so this one up here is the one that is going to be about 3 heads high, 3 heads wide. And then this one down here is narrower. And you have to look at your person that you're drawing and you know, line it up and see where the person you're drawing falls in those criteria. If you are cartooning again and you are drawing a superhero, like I just went to see Avengers, like you're drawing Thor, you might want his shoulders to be extra wide because he's not real, you know? You might want to exaggerate that. So it's good to know these proportions, because if you draw someone that you want to be very strong and you just draw it like this, you'd be like, well, I drew it really big, but you didn't. So you need to know what the rules are. So you say, well, I really want him to just really be gigantic and his shoulders are going to come out like this. Maybe it's the Hulk, you know? When they designed the Hulk, they had to know what human proportions were so that they knew where to break them. Okay, so that's one of the reasons, even if you're not drawing realistically, you need to know what they are so you know what to break. Okay, so let me erase that. Okay, so we have 3 heads wide. Oh, I got it this time. Okay. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the sternum. Okay, now you'll see this on certain people. Obviously through the skin you'll see like a shadow of this. And it helps to build the rib cage. If you pay attention to how big that sternum is, it'll help you to build how big the rib cage is, and you will definitely see some of those things on a person through the skin. So these are details that are important. So if you feel that your torso is not the right length, you can look at the hand. Okay, so from here to here, this length here is going to be the same length of the sternum. Okay, and from here to the wrist, this bone here is going to be about 1 head high. Ooh, that's not a head. You get the idea, okay? And then this bone here is a little bit longer always. This bone here is longer than the lower arm bone here. Okay, and the same is true as far as being longer, not the head's high, but this bone from here to here, and see how it's curved? Well, that's not, don't follow my line. But that bone in the leg is always longer than this bone here. Okay, and now I'm sure that there's somebody out there who that's not true for, but that is not the general norm. So keep that in mind. And if you are drawing a cartoon, I think a lot of times cartoons don't even have the knee bones, or they might even be more equal. So you have to know the rules so you know when to break them. Oh, and well, let me delete this here. And I'm going to give you one more. I don't want to overwhelm you in one class. Okay, so if this guy, this skeleton guy, no, that's not what I want to do. Hang on. If this guy, this skeleton guy, had his arms stretched out like this, instead of at his side, okay, this distance from here to here, fingertip to fingertip, would be the same distance from here to here. Okay. Now that one, it can be hard to use, because a lot of times you're not going to be drawing someone who has their arms spread out. But it's good to know some of those things when you're really, if you're drawing something and it really, the proportions are off and you're not sure where, you start looking at everything. Well, what about this? What about that? Is the hand too big? Maybe the hand's too big. And people do that when they're drawing, like something like the hand or something could be way off, and you don't see it at all that it's off. Like it's maybe twice as big as it needs to be. And that happens to everybody when they're drawing. That's why it's good to have people to look at your artwork while you're working on it and say, well, how does this look? How does it get fresh eyes? And if you're really stuck on something, I recommend that you put it away for a few days, a week or two, even if you're really stuck, and then pull it out and look at it. And you'll have brand new, fresh eyes, and you'll be able to see those things that you couldn't see while you were working on it. I don't really understand why that is, but that's true for everybody, that you can not see those things. You just get too wrapped up in drawing it. Okay, well, guys, that's all I have to share about the proportions today. I think next time, if you're interested, we can start working on hands or maybe drawing faces. So think about that and let me know. And I'm going to post a picture for you to work on, so look for that in the classroom. And I will see you on Friday.